much. Like she said, my name is Anton Martinez, and my PhD focus on paranoid delusions, but today I will talk about autism and psychosis. So, what is psychosis? Well, psychosis is a concept that traditionally have been used as a synonym of schizophrenia, and schizophrenia usually comprises three main clusters of symptoms. First one are positive symptoms, which refer to behaviors that are usually not present in normal functioning in healthy populations, such as hallucination, meaning seeing or hearing things that are not really there, or delusions which are very unfounded, crazy beliefs, like believing that you're Superman, for example. Then you have negative cluster of symptoms, which refers to, unlike positive symptoms, to lack of behaviors that are usually present in the normal functioning of general population, such as blunted affect or abulia, which would be the lack of motivation. And then we have cognitive symptoms, which, like the name says, refers to deficits in cognitive functions, and even social cognition deficits. However, recent research has shown that positive symptoms are not only present in schizophrenia spectrum disorders, but in a wide variety of other psychiatric conditions. And not only that, but also that these positive symptoms are present in the general population in a less severe form. Thus, researchers in the late years have starting seeing positive symptoms as a broad dimension and with a symptom-focused perspective. So when I will be talking about psychosis, I will be talking about positive symptoms. So what about autism, And well, let's do a bit of history. So autism was first described as the four primary symptoms of schizophrenia by Euler, and then the concept was changing from primary schizophrenia to childhood schizophrenia. Then Leon Kanner start looking that these symptoms develop much earlier than psychotic symptoms, and it wasn't until late 1980s, earlier 1980s, that autism was regarded as a separate entity in the DSM-3. So what is autism? So nowadays autism is considered a neurodevelopmental disorder, which is much earlier onset than schizophrenia in a different cause, and it presents difficulties in the areas of social interaction and communication, such as theory of mind deficits, repetitive behavior, sensory abnormalities like hyper or hyper responses to external stimuli, and restricted interests. And there has also been some evidence showing that there is an association between autism and psychosis in different domains. For example, there have been studies showing that autism people show higher levels of paranoia, which is a very common type of delusion in comparison to healthy population, but still they have lower levels of paranoia than schizophrenia patients. Also, there have been studies showing that people with psychosis report higher rates of autism diagnosis. Also, that autism people report high levels of abnormal perceptions, like those shown in psychotic population. And there have been two longitudinal studies that have shown that autism traits in childhood predict schizotypal traits, although there wasn't in this study transition to psychosis, and in the other study they also predicted childhood traits. Childhood traits predicted psychotic experiences in early adolescence. However, there are no studies that address this association in the general adult population sample, and we have the research question in the study if there is an association between probable psychosis and autism traits in the general population, and if this association is symptom specific or symptom general. And well, what we did in this study, we addressed this association with two large epidemiological data sets, which are the Adult Psychiatry Mobility Survey, these are surveys that take place every 7 years, and we used the last two cohorts. And what we did, we ran the study in the 2007 cohort, and we replicated in the 2014 cohort. So our model, we treated autism as an independent variable As dependent variables, we had probable psychosis, which was a variable based on a total screening questionnaire and questions regarding history of antipsychotic medication and admissions in mental health wards. And then specific psychotic experiences like auditory hallucination, mania, paranoia, thought insertion, which is also a kind of delusion, and strange experiences which refer to abnormal perceptions. So all of these symptoms are positive symptoms, and we were trying to see if there is an association between specific symptoms or if it is general. And we control for age, gender, ethnicity, and index of multiple deprivation. So, like I said, we used the adult psychiatric mobility survey for these studies, and we replicated in the 2014. The design was multi-stage stratified probability sampling method. The instruments we used were questionnaires, so the autism quotient, and the psychosis screening questionnaire for autism and the other psychotic experiences. And the statistical analysis was a binary logistic regression, since we treated the psychotic variables as outcome variables, so dichotomous variables, and autism trace as a continuous variable. So we ran two models for each analysis. The first one was the association between the independent-dependent variable, for example, paranoia, and its control variables. And in the second model, we run the same, but we also control for the remaining psychotic experiences. For example, hallucinations, mania, because sometimes they are correlated and they can affect the effect. So, for probable psychosis, we did find an association in the first study, and we replicated in the second. And also, in order to assist the interpretation of the odds ratio, what we did, we treated autism trait as quartiles, and and using the lower category as a reference category, and we find in both studies very large odds ratio, and you can see a similar pattern in both studies. And regarding psychotic experiences, the first study we did find an effect of paranoia. We did not find it in auditory hallucinations. Also, we did not find it in mania. We did find it for the thought insertion, and we did find it for strange experiences. And in our second study, we replicate this effect. If its effect was significant, mania remained non-significant, and for the rest, there were also significant effects. So, what can we draw from these findings? First, there is a symptom general association, and that this association is with positive symptoms or not with mania. Mania, we would consider that as a more effective symptom, even though it was in the scale. And this association is less consistent for auditory verbal hallucinations. So what are the possible explanations for this? Well, there are several models that attempt to explain the association between autism and psychosis, proposed by several authors, and one of them is the increased vulnerability model, which states that there are a set of basic symptoms that in autism that can predispose or condition to experience psychosis or psychotic symptoms. And there's another model which is called the multiple overlapping etiologies model, which states that autism and psychosis share different psychological mechanisms such as theory of mind deficits, which would be related to paranoia, for example, reduced NMDA receptor in a biochemical level, sensory abnormalities, and traumatic experiences. Well, our main limitation is that this study is cross-sectional, thus we cannot infer any kind of causality. So the only thing we can say is that these symptoms co-occur. We cannot say that one predict the other because it wasn't measured retrospectively. And also that we didn't measure any of these psychological constructs, so we cannot infer that this model, for example, because we don't have measurements of that. And we have a bit of a power problem for probable psychosis since it was rare in both samples. So fitted directions. Further studies should explore these mechanisms using longitudinal experimental methods or designs, and we are currently working on a latent class analysis joining both data sets, and we are also looking at the role of trauma, since trauma is a very strong predictor of psychosis, and to see if there is an interaction between trauma and autism and psychosis. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. Who's got a question?
You showed that when you broke down the autistic traits by quartiles,
Yes.
it was quite strong shape across the quartiles in terms of effect on observation.
Yes.
When you looked at some of the other symptoms, so some of the things that didn't find significant observation related to memory or hallucination, did you look at that by quartiles?
No, we didn't, because we thought it was last minute idea, and we thought that was going to be a lot of analysis. We already had like 5 or 6 analyses, and for each other we control for a lot of symptoms, and we did the second model, so we thought that we would only do it for probable psychosis. Yeah. So we didn't do it for the other. It would be interesting to see. Yeah. A question?
Can you say a bit about your future experimental designs? Are you going to continue to work on statistical analysis of the surveys, or are you going to actually...
Well, that's a good question, because my main PhD project is not about autism per se, but paranoia. So we did this study because, well, I need to do something before studying this, but also because we have more this idea that autism and psychosis might share different mechanisms, and it has been shown that autism and paranoia have fear of mind deficits, and it has been shown that this could be a potential mechanism in paranoia. So what we're interested is to see if there are differences between autism and psychotic population in different psychological constructs. So we're trying to measure, for example, attachment styles have also been found that leads to paranoia and mistrust, and to see if there are differences between these two conditions, because I think in later years clinical psychologists wanted more and more into the direction of dimensions, not into categories. So we think that this might be explained by variables rather than strict categories. So it's not schizophrenia leads to psychotic symptoms like the medical model, but there might be fluctuations, and also in the general population that might lead to psychosis. So my studies are experimental. We want to assess this, for example, from a psychophysiological perspective, with implicit cognitive task, to see if there is differences between.
You're going to recruit people?
Yes. But these are like side projects, and this will reduce the same data set.
Excellent.
Thank you, Anton, for the great talk. You said at the beginning that you control 4 different variables,
Yes.
including ethnicity.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about
Yes,
the
well,
potential role of ethnicity in this relationship?
Well, ethnicity apparently, previous studies have shown that not belonging to the to the country that you're living in leads to psychosis, particularly paranoia as well. So this is quite consistent, and you can, if you are plotting with this data, I can also see that predicts psychotic symptoms. There is a theory about social identity, for example, that people perceive others as threatening, and by not integrating to the culture, and that might lead to distrust or this kind of course, this is not a diagnosis of psychosis. These are psychotic-like experiences. Okay, so it's not that you are psychotic, but leads you to experience this kind of symptoms.
Thank you. We've got time for one more question. Emma?
Thank you for your talk. What would be your best guess then for why some people with autism go on to develop these positive symptoms? Is it a combination of factors, do you think, or does some mechanism seem to be playing more of a stronger role?
That's a very good question, because that's why we're trying to look in the later class analysis. We're trying, I think Kat just said that autism is very wide and have a lot of components there, social communication aspects, sensory abnormality aspects. So our hypothesis is that this might, we will find profiles for these kind of different symptoms and aspects of autism. And what I think personally is that theory of mind and social communications will be more associated with paranoia, and sensory abnormalities and cognitive rigidity would associate with strange experiences or hallucinations, for example.
Okay, thank you.